So back in the world of TradFi or traditional finance, we have big news for SEI as a project because they've just been listed on Robinhood. And of course, SEI is hosting settlement layers for really, really big names out there. BlackRock, for example, PayPal, also Circle. And really, every few months, there's a new chain out there that claims to be the future of trading in one form or another. And SEI is the latest when it comes to that kind of claim, but it can back it up in a few different ways. First of all, it is lightning fast, it's exchange focused, and it's backed by some very serious capital, which we're going to be discussing. And so it's kind of positioning itself right now as the trading layer of the future. But, claims are easy to make. The delivery of those promises is another story altogether. And that's especially the case in a volatile market, which is exactly where we find ourselves. So like I said, not speculative, purely objective. And by the end of this video, we'll have a sense, or hopefully at least you will, as to whether or not SEI truly deserves a place among the next generation of base layers in cryptocurrency. Welcome one and all to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest. Maybe that's into SEI, maybe that's into something else, but either way, I do wish you well. Just remember, I am not a financial or investment advisor, nor is this video official financial or investment advice. Okay, let's kick things off in the context of a bullish perspective. So we'll consider SEI Network from that point of view. For context, and just from a 10,000 foot perspective, SEI is a project with what we feel are very strong fundamentals. But the point is that it is purpose built for high throughput and offers real-time trading infrastructure. It's very strong in DeFi as a result, and it also tackles one of the markets with the highest growth potential that is also involved in the cryptocurrency space as far as the overlap, right? That space and crypto. I am talking about RWA or real world assets. And yes, SEI is involved in that, but it does not put all its eggs into that one basket because it's also strong in the gaming sector. As a matter of fact, when it comes to gaming, it's actually captured 50% of the market cap by active wallets, if you were to use that metric and that measurement. Check out this recent video. If you haven't already, we ask how many SEI do you need in 2026 to become a crypto millionaire at the height of the bull cycle. But getting back to SEI as a project and its well-roundedness, you can also count it as one of the fastest chains that's out there, full stop. Its network uses what's called a twin turbo consensus. And to get into that in too much detail is going to be too complicated for us. I want to keep this minimally technical for the purposes of this video. But the idea is that this targets a 400 millisecond time to finality, or TTF. This is when transactions become final. And the point is that SEI can do this in under a second. So this is exactly the kind of speed that both DeFi and blockchain gaming need, that they in fact demand. And then right now, as I record, the network is preparing for its Giga upgrade. What we're told is that Giga should give SEI 200,000 transactions per second, TPS. And a big shout out here to the guys over at Whiteboard Crypto. They give a very good explanation on Giga, how it works in this video. But going back to SEI, they started out, remember, on Cosmos. However, it is moving as a project towards a full-on EVM chain. That is reflected, of course, in the recent SIP3 upgrade, which moves SEI from CosmWasm to an EVM-only chain. And the upgrade is for Cosmos wallets like Kepler or Leap. It does leave the old Cosmos addresses that start with SEI behind. And a little bit more on RWA here as far as news, as far as announcements. First of all, the tokenization firm KAIO, they launched a tokenized fund on the SEI network. It did this via Laser Digital. That happened a couple of weeks ago now on the 22nd of October. And this goes to show that RWA as a use case is certainly very relevant, very applicable for the chain. Laser Digital is a subsidiary of Nomura, which happens to be Japan's largest investment bank. And KAIO provides institutional grade infrastructure for RWAs. So as I said earlier, and as we're going to continue to discuss here, kind of the theme is that we have some very big players here that are involved. And then in early October, SEI was also ranked as the 4th ecosystem by TVL efficiency. That's total value locked. And in terms of efficiency, this is just the ratio of borrow and lending activity to total TVL. And this shows that SEI is kind of growing nicely into a more mature and capital efficient ecosystem. And I've already mentioned gaming. Recently, DApp Radar released their Q3 report about blockchain gaming. And in this report, it ranks SEI as number 2 with UAWs. This means unique active wallets. And that actually represents an 86% gain in just one quarter and translates into 802,000 daily active wallets. So things look pretty good here on the whole. They're versatile as a company. They're doing good things. The technology is solid, and arguably, that comes down to personal opinion, but I would say arguably they have the attention and the cooperation of some pretty big players that are interested in what they're doing as a project. This Altcoin Buzz Spotlight video is sponsored by CoinEx, which is perhaps one of the best exchanges you haven't heard of. Just like Gate.io or MEXC, they offer a lot of coins, but more importantly, they offer the high quality coins you actually want. And right now, for a limited time, all CoinEx users who trade over $50 worth of SWCH, well, they can join the spot trading volume ranking to share 50,000 SWCH. Swiss Cheese and its SWCH token are bringing traditional stock trading and other digital assets on chain. This creates a super smooth experience for Web 2 and Web 3 users alike. It's got great potential as an RWA project. The campaign is live now and runs until 10 a.m. on November 3rd, 2025 UTC time. All CoinEx users who apply to the promotion page can participate. And the rewards are going to be shared by the ranking in spot trading volume. Cumulative trading volume equals buying volume plus selling volume in SWCH markets during the entirety of the promotion. Everybody who qualifies gets to share a reward according to their trading volume. So take advantage of the CoinEx SWCH trading volume promotion and earn rewards while you're at it. You can start today by setting up your account on CoinEx and earn your part of the prize pool. Check out the links in the description of this video for more information. Okay, so we've considered the positives, I guess the bullish case you could say for SEI as a project, but it's important to be objective, to be critical. And in that spirit, I want to consider some of the negatives, some of the weaker points or weaknesses of SEI as a project. First of all, despite its architecture and promises being strong, achieving them at scale does represent a serious challenge in a non-trivial kind of way. A lot of projects, of course, promise high performance, but in practice fall short, right? SEI is in a very competitive layer 1 ecosystem. Obviously, there's lots of competition from other great chains out there, big ones, chains that we're fans of, so Solana, SWI. And the fact is, if SEI wants to capture meaningful share, it's got to show sustained adoption beyond just hype, right? And beyond just promises. Some of the promises that we have seen, like the Giga upgrade, are still in the pipeline. They are not yet proven, at least on a full scale. Now, don't get me wrong. The promise is there, and we don't have any reason to doubt them. But this is the kind of thing you can't count your chickens before they hatch. And so until this launches, we just don't know definitively whether or not it works and what kind of an impact it's going to have. The technology so far, though, does look promising. Still, ecosystem metrics like TVL or active projects may lag compared to more established chains. In other words, there is the risk of having a fast engine, but very few passengers on board kind of scenario. As you can see here, SEI ranks 17th on DeFi Llama for TVL and 102nd on CoinGecko's list by market cap. Let's consider now tokenomics and, more broadly speaking, kind of general market risk. So the native token here in question, of course, is SEI, and it faces typical crypto volatility. What else is new? For example, despite good news, ostensibly its recent listing on Robinhood, the price dropped. In fact, today, SEI is down by nearly 10% in these last 24 hours. It's down even more over the last 30 days. And unfortunately, over the last year, it's also in the red, pretty substantially, actually. Plus, you're going to want to keep in mind that the SEI token has monthly unlocks of 55.56 million SEI, which represents about 1.1% of its circulating supply and is currently worth about $10 million. This will continue until August 2027, again, every month. And then after that, there's going to be smaller monthly emissions. What's good, though, is that 62% of the SEI tokens are already in circulation. Now, on-chain metrics show that trading volume has fallen pretty significantly in recent months. Ecosystem growth is promising, but could always be stronger. There just aren't enough big DeFi projects launching on the network at the moment. And this is resulting in a lower organic demand for SEI. And it also signals that momentum might be weak right now. Capital seems to be moving into larger caps, so the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, the Solanas as well. But look, even these are struggling with their price right now. And so despite some of the positives that we've pointed out here so far, we do have to admit that sentiment around SEI has slowed down for the time being. But is SEI and its network going to be able to make an impact and stay relevant? Because it does have real potential. It does tick some important boxes as well, ranging really between various spaces in the crypto sector, niche verticals, things like high frequency trading, also DEXs, also blockchain gaming. And it also claims performance that can make a difference, again, if they deliver. Plus, there's the EVM compatibility. So this reduces friction and opens the doors to all kinds of different developers. I would argue, therefore, that the risk seems to lie somewhere else. That is in the execution and the adoption, because SEI needs to meet its technical roadmap. It also needs to attract meaningful ecosystem usage, which is a little bit underwhelming right now. Short-term hype is not going to cut it here. So yeah, it still has the potential to emerge as a strong contender, but failure to differentiate itself in this crowded field that we've been discussing, is certainly going to be a problem, and that is going to limit its long-term impact. And so for a longer-term investor or builder, SEI is worth watching. However, that individual needs to go in with their eyes open to both upside promise and that execution risk that I mentioned. SEI needs to leverage its performance advantage. And if it does so, that could make it the go-to chain for things like high-frequency trading, DEX applications, and real-time financial infrastructure. And then upgrades like Giga open up all kinds of potential for performance leaps, which in turn could attract more large institutional or infrastructure builds, which shows us that SEI does have solid foundational strength. It offers strong architecture plus compatibility advantages. That's by becoming an all-EVM chain. But it is certainly not a guaranteed winner yet. It has the potential to get there. And if you wanted a higher risk, higher potential project, the fact is that SEI, again, assuming they deliver what they say they're going to, could very well be a strong option. But look, that's my point of view. It's nuanced. It's not so clear cut. Let me know what your thoughts are when it comes to SEI in the comments below. And you can also join our discussions. We discuss SEI and all kinds of other stuff on social media. The social media of choice for us happen to be X and Discord. You can join us in those discussions, those conversations by clicking the links in the description below.